Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Double Harmonic Scale by GDC. This is going to be an interesting one today. It's a yin-yang hybrid with doubled values. So let's see how we do here. So we do have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules. So in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have yin-yang. So every single cell is going to get one of two colors, a dark or a light. I'm going to use this gray. Actually, I'm going to use this gray for dark. I'm going to use this green for light. And the rule that we have to follow is that cells of the same color are all orthogonally connected. Orthogonal means sharing an edge. So we might have something like this for our dark cells, and then like something like this for our light cells. So this would be, I believe, a valid yin-yang. It's not obviously not the only valid yin-yang, but you can see that all of the dark cells are fully orthogonally connected, and all of the green cells are fully orthogonally connected. So you do have two blobs. But also, cells of the same, every 2x2 contains both colors. So this 2x2 has a green and has a dark and a light. This 2x2 has a dark and a light. This 2x2 has a dark and a light. So every single 2x2. What you can't do is something like this, because now you have a 2x2 that's all green, all light. So this would be a valid yin-yang for that purpose as well. Now, let's say this was our yin-yang solution. I'm sure it's not. But for the purposes of arrows, digits in a dark cell count as double their value. So when we're looking at arrows, let's go over the arrow rule first then. But just keep in mind that we have values, not digits. Values along an arrow sum to the value in the attached circle. But remember that dark cells double their value. So if I have, say, 1, 2 here, these would both be doubled in value. They'd actually be 2, 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6. We could put, say, a 3 here. 6 plus 3 is 9. Actually, let's put a 4 here. So 1 plus 2 is, 2 plus 4. The values on the arrow sum to the value in the circle, right? So 2 plus 4 are the values here. That's 6. Plus another 4. That's 10. We can put a 5 here, which gets doubled to 10, and this arrow is correct now. So based on our yin-yang, the dark part of our yin-yang is going to double the values, and the light part leaves it the same. And so 2 plus 4 is 10, and this is a 10, and so that works. Hopefully that is clear. All right. And so that's going to help us determine like which cells are dark, which cells have to be doubled, or which cells are light, because they can't be doubled. And that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. Okay. There may be something to do here. I just want to explain that there is a property of yin-yang that's... there's two properties of yin-yang that I just kind of want to go over before we get started so I can use them if I need to. First of all, yin-yangs can't checkerboard. It's not in the rules, but it's true anyway because of the orthogonal connectivity rule. Because that means these two need to connect to each other and these two need to connect to each other. And no matter how I connect these grays, I'm going to end up preventing the greens from connecting. And I'm not going to give a rigorous solution to that, but you can see that no matter how I try to connect, this gray, to connect this gray to this other gray, like no matter what I do, I'm going to create a pocket here that this can't get out of, that cannot touch this one. So we cannot do checkerboards for that reason. Additionally, on the outside of the grid, I'm going to have a continuous run of lights and darks and a continuous run of lights. Basically, what we can't do is this, because it runs into a similar problem as the checkerboard, where these grays now have to connect across to the other set of grays, and it's going to create a pocket of greens here and a pocket of greens here that can't connect. You can't connect these grays to the other edge grays and these edge greens to the other edge greens without them crossing through each other. So those are two interesting deductions about yin-yang that can be extremely useful for yourself. So I'm going to be using that, or maybe not, but I figured I'd explain it. These are both the same color. No, they don't have to be both the same color. Sorry. We could do something like a dark 2 and then a regular 4. So these aren't even necessarily the same digit as each other, which is kind of interesting. I feel like we need to get started with this really long arrow. Like, I think this has to be a doubled value. Yeah, it definitely does. So even if none of these were doubled, the minimum we could be is 1, 2, 3, 4 is 10. And then 2 more ones. And that adds to 12. And that is the biggest even a doubled value can be. So this is dark, 6. And these are all green. And this actually has, they have to be these values. We have to minimize it. Now, this is a 2 by 2 that is missing a dark. There's only one place left. So we can't make a 2 by 2 of greens. So that has to be dark. We need to be careful about not checkerboarding this. Let's see. What's our next step here? We've got a bunch of digits. So one of these two is a 1. Obviously, okay, so even if the 1 was here and doubled, 2 is still too small for the addition of two digits. So this has to be our 1, but we don't know if it's doubled or not. So 1 down here somewhere, but we know it's not in the circle. So 1's in one of these two. 1 still can't go in circles, except maybe this one, but now it can't because it sees a 1. Let's see. What's our follow-up? Is there a yin-yang thing I can do? We know there's going to be at least 1 gray in here and at least 1 gray in here. Are there any other 2 by 2s I need to worry about, or checkerboards? Not that I'm seeing. Probably need to look at another arrow here. An interesting deduction here is that, obviously doubled values are always even because we're doubling them. So we're introducing a multiplier of 2. So they're of course even. And so if this was doubled, this cannot be because it would need to be an odd value because this is already a 1. I guess, oh no, this could be doubled to a 2. I was going to say these two are the same color, but I actually don't know if that's true. Because this could be doubled. We don't know it's not doubled. I get the feeling it's this. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm missing something obvious. This is a 6. This is a 5 for the box, and so if that's a 6, this is definitely doubled because we're already 6, and this is definitely not doubled because it would make it already 12. So this is doubled. This is already 6. So we could do a 1, 2 here, not doubled. Well, I guess these have to add to an even number, but this could be 4 at minimum then. It could be a non-doubled 1, 3. But yeah, the smallest even number that these can add to is 4. So this is at least 10. So this is a 5 or a 6, but it can't be a 6, so it has to be a 5. And so now these have to add to 4. If they were doubled, that wouldn't work, right? No, it would. I can't double this cell. So if I doubled this cell, the issue is the minimum it could be is a 2, and that already is going to be 6 plus 4 is 10. So this one cannot be doubled. But this one here could be a doubled 1, and we could put a 2 here. So this is a 2 or a 3, depending on whether we're doubling this 1. But this is going to be a 1. Because if this is a 2, then our minimum is 2, 3, which is already 5. So this is definitely our 1, but we don't know if it's doubled or not. That's not a 1. Okay, what do we do with this information? This is a 2 by 2 that needs a dark, so we're going to make that dark. Don't checkerboard, so that has to be green. Okay, so this is not doubled. This 2 by 2 needs a dark. So now the dark has to connect to other darks. And we can also use kind of our border rule here, but we don't know where the green and gray switch off at the border, but there's only 2 places. There's this place and there's one more. But it has to get out. So all of these are dark. So this is double this one. So this has to be an even number. So this is 2 or 4. And this can't be a 1 though. So this is a 4 and this is a 2, making that a 3, meaning this is not doubled. So it's green for the sum of our arrow, in case that's not clear. That's not 3, that's not 4. This 2 tells me that's 3 and that's 2. We get the 4, and these are not 2, 4. Okay. Up here I need 2, 5, 6. That's not a 2. This has to get out. It's going to get out here. This is already all connected, so we don't have to worry about this getting out. Here we can't checkerboard, so that needs to be dark. Okay, so we know that green has to come to at least here. Why do I say that? Because otherwise gray is coming through here, and now we've created a 2x2 of gray right there. So green needs to come all the way around to at least here so that we don't make a 2x2 of gray when we connect to the grays over here. So now these grays are, yeah, let's see, there's probably better logic here. This needs a gray. And we can't isolate these grays. Okay, that was all they wanted. I thought I saw that there was an isolation issue, but anyway, yeah, these grays have to connect over here. They're eventually going to connect up to these guys. Do we have any 2x2s or checkerboards to worry about? Not that I'm seeing. This is doubled, and it's not 1, 2, or 3. So this has to be doubled as well, which means we got to connect up the whole border. So what's left? We have 4, 5, 6 left. This is obviously smaller than this one. So really, I mean, if it's all doubled, we can just think of it as a normal arrow. It's either 1 plus 4 is 5 or 1 plus 5 is 6, which is really 2 plus 8 is 10, or 2 plus 10 is 12. But, it is what it is. These greens are all connected already. We don't actually have to grow them. We just have to connect these grays in some way. So maybe it's this arrow here, or this arrow might be interesting. Let's do the, do we want to do, the column has 1, 2, 3, 4, but this can't be 1 or 3. In fact, no, 1 is not placed in the column, but, so what can this be? This can't be 1, it could be 2, it can't be 3, it could be 4, it can't be 5, 6. Okay, so this is 2 or 4 doubled. So this adds to 4 or 8. And these are not doubled. So if this was 4, this would have to be 1, 3. So this would be the 3, this would be the 1. And if this was 8, how are we adding to 8? Either 2, 6, or 3, 5. So it would be 2, 6, or it would be a 3, 5. This 5 says that would be 3. And oh, neither of these can be 5, actually. So those are our options. We're either 2 with a 1, 3, or we're 4 with a 2, 6. Oh, this is a digit. That will help. This is a 2. So this is 1, which means this is a 3, which means that's a 2. So that's 3 and 1. Missing some easy Sudoku and doing hard stuff instead, as per usual. This is a 4. Let's just do as much Sudoku as we can. That's a 6. 1, 2, 3. We need 4, 5 here. Ah, this ended up 5, so that's our 4. That's our 6. All right, I think digits at this point. That's 5. Oops. That's 5, that's 4. So this adds to 8. We already have 2. So we need 6 more here. That's even, so these could both be doubled. Let's just look at Sudoku some more. We need 2, 6 here. Here we need 3, 4. Ah, we know the order. That's 3, that's 4. Okay, this is already 4. So this is definitely not doubled, because it would be 8 plus, yeah. the 4 is in that circle, right? So this can't be doubled. And so now, this is definitely not a 6. This is our 2. Remember, this added to 6. That's a 2, and it has to be green. That's our 6. We cannot make a checkerboard, so this has to be gray. Oops, sorry, it has to be green, so we don't make a checkerboard. It's like, what the heck? All right, so that's 5, that's 2. Gray still has not, this gray blob has not connected to this gray blob, so this has to be gray. This is dark. That's 6. We have 3 and 5. All right. Very nice puzzle, GDC. As always, showing your skill as a setter. I know how difficult it is to set a puzzle like this. There are different approaches, and I don't know which one GDC used, but yeah, this solved very nicely. I really appreciate this puzzle. And it was a lot of fun too. So yeah, definitely let me know how you did on this one. And if you enjoyed it, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.